The government shutdown has officially begun. And what does this mean for the stock market? Because it seems like from what the White House is saying is that layoffs are going to start immediately. But what if I told you that a government shutdown would lead to the stock market pushing to all-time highs at the same time? Seems crazy, but that's what this year has been, a year of inverses. And if we look at where we're at right now, that is exactly what you're doing. You go to something like SPY and you look at what's happened basically over the past day, get rid of some of these indicators just so we can see it as a clean chart. And again, you just made new all-time highs once again here on SPY. All of our levels remained intact. We stair step back up, bada bing, bada boom. You go into QQQ. What about NASDAQ? Again, new all-time highs. Even the Dow, we were very concerned. This was one of my biggest concerns going into the day was 46.65. You're holding right back above that. And you know, I was one of the people, and I will be transparently clear and say it. I assumed a government shutdown, if this started to happen, we were for sure going to see a dip. And we still could dip tomorrow or the next day or the next day. I'm not going to say that we're not. And the longer this goes on, the more likely that we will dip. But I will say, this was not what I expected. I want to be transparently 100% clear. But if you follow the levels, if you have a trade plan, then again, you still could have made some money on this. And it's really awesome to see some of you guys that are just killing it during this type of move. Now, before I go too far in the video and go over some of the plays I'm looking at, I want to say right now, if you want to see what we trade, how we trade every single day, again, the Discord link is down below. What you're going to see is our futures rundown every single day. So what do we mention here? This is literally this morning, 7:40 a.m. an alpha market open over 24,815, looking for 24,997, and then obviously all-time highs, which again we started to run over 250 points. Even though I wasn't even bullish, I still knew based off of the chart what to look for. Now, a step further, you'll go into technicals and see our scalps. And let me tell you, Jordan murdered this. Again, Tesla caught this all the way into 460 on calls, which we literally were walking you through step by step. Trade ideas, more things that we got into overnight. Microsoft, we're looking at Kava, some other names as well. So all that is there for you. The profits, you can all look into that. But again, the link is down below. And just to let you know, we did open up the more affordable tier for the newer traders. If you want to just see what we're all about, you won't get access to voice chat and be able to hear us talk live in the mornings, but you still get to see what Discord's all about. And if you need to, kind of want to spend a little bit less, maybe that's for you. The starter plan is available. There's only a set number of people that will be able to join. You have to join the wait list and then we have to accept you in. But just to let you know, that is on a 20-person tier. I think it's already been taken a few steps, but anyways, it's there for you. The link is down below. Now, let's get to it. Where do we begin when we look at what's happening overall? The number one thing that I'll say is NVIDIA. And this is kind of, stemming from yesterday, is NVIDIA broke highs yesterday, right? Clear as day, right? When we got back above, today we retested and we bounced right back out. And this is the very definition of everything that you want to see inside the market, of what you really want to see for continuation. A break, a retest, and then follow through back to the upside. Now, again, I want to make it clear. You still have a government shutdown happening. We're not guaranteed to continue this trend. We're not guaranteed to keep going up. So I want to make sure that's abundantly clear. But one thing that you can use are the same levels over and over and over. Now, I will say, I don't like swinging a lot of trades right now unless you're getting something that has some time on it. I did get something, Kava, for instance, going for January. But again, worth mentioning. I have some time, and I think I'm fine on those contracts. Worst case scenario, I get down 20%, and I have to cut it there. But again, just to let you know, I don't think swinging the large caps is the move right now. Don't attack me, okay? That is just my opinion. So what you're seeing, though, this is really the big thing carrying the market is NVIDIA. Also, Apple, really solid here. Finding a key resistance just right here at these highs. You just can't get that continuation there. Once you get the continuation, it's going to be awesome. It's just like a matter of when does that kind of happen. So that is, again, where we're at there on Apple, trying to break out. But ultimately, the market looks very strong. And SMH semiconductors are doing the heavy lifting, literally going up in a straight line. This is the hourly chart going all the way back to September 11th. Shout out to 9/11. Crazy reference, not gonna lie. But again, back to 333, just in a straight up line. So again, the market does still look very, very strong, and it's being led by the thing that's carried us, tech and semiconductors. Very important to see that. Now, a few things that I will caution you about, okay? Let's talk about what could go wrong. Before I start going into names I like and what I want to go long on and short on, whatever, caution, caution, caution. Now, again, they are going to start letting off individuals for the government. Now, I don't want to get into politics, but I do want to say, Trump might actually enjoy there being a government shutdown because it gives him a little bit more power to lay off, and kind of it hurts the Democrats more than anything. So honestly, I'm really surprised we went to a government shutdown. But I mean, more from the side of like the Democrats let this happen, because this puts them in a really bad position, and you're going to start seeing major layoffs, and you're going to see the Democrats absolutely rage. I'm just saying, okay? But what's going to happen from this? You're not going to be getting a lot of the data reports. Like, so those could be delayed. If this lasts longer than like a week, you could see CPI, PCE, you could see job payrolls, non-farm payrolls, you could see unemployment. You could see all that data just slow down dramatically. Like, you have to think about what's going to happen there, okay? And this will impact what the Fed says, what's going to happen going forward, and they're going to be kind of in the dark. And then it makes you think, well, if the Fed's in the dark, this is if it goes on for a while, do they just cut rates? Like, well, what do they do? Like, how do they respond? So very interesting to see what's happening. And again, I would definitely be keeping my head on a swivel. The longer this goes on, the worse it is. Obviously, Captain Obvious here, but the longer it goes on, the more you're like, okay, you got to dip. Like, there's no way we don't dip. If it's short term, gets fixed by the weekend, maybe we're fine. But hopefully sooner. I don't know though. If someone asked me, and I was like, honestly, dude, I can't give you an answer because I have no idea at this point. This is wild, right? Going into mortgage rates. Again, I recommend tracking mortgage rates. I want to see what's going to happen from here. You've seen obviously mortgage rates slow down. They're sitting at 6.35. We want to see these continue on the downside. Okay. We also want to see this goes back into the Fed. We want to see continuation of downside on the 30-year yield, which is creeping back down. The 10-year yield, guess what? Creeping back down. This is a good look. This is what we really want to see happening. Getting the yields back on the downside push, which again pushes the market in a better position. Interest rates go down, mortgage rates go down, Fed gets rates coming down. That's good. Win, right? Very important, the big things to be watching. Another thing on here, again, I just don't want to forget about Bitcoin because I think Bitcoin's in a crazy spot. Again, I made the video a few days ago. If you don't follow, I recommend doing so, okay? Twitter as well. I recommend following on Twitter so you get all the updates, guys. I post all this on there. You get all the charts, everything like that. So make sure you're following links down below as well. But Bitcoin bounced where it needed to, 108,000 back into 117,000. And it just keeps on climbing. And as long as the NASDAQ keeps going up, stocks hold up, I don't see Bitcoin slowing down here. This really, hey, Donald Trump, Eric Jr., hey, I appreciate you. I appreciate you for telling us to buy. I'm not gonna lie, you actually killed it on that one. Like father, like son, isn't that what they say? But again, where you're at right now, some of these names like Coinbase holding up, pushing back into 349, like we talked about, above 349, bing, massive winner alert. So again, keep watching that. Okay. Very, very important what I'd be watching there. Now, again, we're going to tackle more of these stock splits, quickly go into some of the levels you need to be watching. So if you go to like the 1 hour time frame, again, I'm going to use this as an example. Again, these are the levels I would be watching as of right now. This is now your most important level right there, 667. This is what I'd be watching. Take a screenshot. It'll last longer, okay? These are the levels to watch. Don't overcomplicate it, ladies and gentlemen, okay? Now, also, too, I will be live every morning at 7:30 a.m. Central, an hour before market open here on YouTube on the channel. So if you want to catch the live, I'll also post it on Twitter so you can get the link or whatever. But I'll be here every morning going over the pre-market, what I'm expecting, what I'm looking for, everything in between, stocks I'm liking, etc. Again, more free content for you, the viewer. So make sure you're tapped in if you want to get that information as well. Okay, now a step further from this, going into QQQ, where are we looking there? Again, less of a breakout, but again, what you want to see is really just staying right there, right above 602.9. That is what you want to see. If we stay there, you look good. You're holding all previous all-time highs. Continuations very likely. Now for Dow, this is very important as well. Go to like the 4 hour chart here, okay? Zoom out. Again, this is your previous all-time high from December of last year, okay? Now, again, 46.66, basically 46.65 roughly, okay? If you stay above that, you look really good. When we've stayed above that, you've seen ES, you've seen NASDAQ get pushes as well. Above this, you get the Dow really start to moving as well. Everything is, systematically moving at all-time highs. Really good to see. That's what we want to see, okay? You want to see Dow stay above this. It's been helping ES, and that's why ES is really performing so well. That's why SPY is at, really above all-time highs, better than even QQQ. The last thing here is IWM. Again, this is still the most important chart for me right now, is IWM breaking out here. Again, multi-year trend breakout going all the way back to 2020, 2021. You're trying to break out above like 245, 244. You look great. That's what we want to see, a break, a retest of this. And that's ultimately going to carry us throughout the rest of this market. And those cheap names that I mentioned yesterday, again, I'm covering more. I'm usually doing 2 videos a day now. Some days I'll only do 1, but I'm trying to keep you guys up to date on some of the upcoming stocks, what I'm looking for, why I'm looking at it, and all the setups. And a few of those had ran really well today. Number 1, SMCI. Let's start here as we move into some of our equities. SMCI, we were literally at basically $48. I said above 48, you look good. You have the gap fill back in 57. Now, I will say, I didn't get into SMCI. I was talking all about it in Discord today, but I was really, and this goes back into having your trade plan. And again, maybe this makes me look bad, but I like to be transparent with you guys. So I didn't get into SMCI just because I was so hooked up on the fact that we were pushing to all-time highs, and I couldn't get behind swinging options just with how we're moving. Like, we're moving it. We literally have been sitting in a range and we're breaking out on Nvidia and some of these other stocks because we're like with the government shutdown happening literally as we speak. And to me, it just made no logical sense. So I was just like really stuck, and I just didn't do too much with equities today. Granted, that's why I have Jordan, my partner, who literally destroyed on the market today. But that's the great thing about me and Jordan. It's like Jordan, I think, is pure analytical. He does not care too much about fundamentals. Me, I'll take in and process fundamentals. I'll think of other strategies, things to plan around it. But again, we kind of feed off each other. So it's really important. And again, you'll see him in the live streams as well. But very important to understand that. So SMCI, I put it out there in Discord. Like, if y'all want it, this is what I'm looking at. Some people killed on it today. Another name out there is Kava. And I think Kava is super interesting. Again, your IPO highs, you zoom all the way back out. You can see you IPO'd, you shot up, you went right down. Again, you're bouncing off that level, $58, $59 at 61, 62. I'm looking for Kava on the bare minimum to come back roughly into like $69.5 to $70 in the 50 MA. That's what I would like to see. I think that can happen. I think it's a pretty easy trade. And I will tell you, the options are cheap. I'm telling you right now, the options are cheap. The January 16th, this is like 4 or 5 months out. Again, the $70 strikes are literally like $4.75. To me, that just doesn't make any sense. If they get into, like, let's say the price of coffee gets into $66, $65, these in theory should be around $6.50 to almost $7 a contract, depending on the speed in which you move there. So again, I like it a lot, what I'm watching there. Now, going more into large cap stocks, equities we're looking for, things along those lines. Okay. Now let's start with healthcare. And shout out to Plays with Fire from Discord. He had a really good rundown on this and charted all, kind of mention brick by brick all this information. Let's start with Eli Lilly though, right? This is probably, it's worth mentioning, healthcare is what's carrying the I would say the Dow right now. So Eli Lilly went straight up through the 200 SMA, which is wild. I would love to see a retest of this level, but it's totally possible that we don't. And what I'd be looking for now is, do we just stay right above this? If we stay above 820, I think you're looking for a breakout, and this could start running towards 880. I mean, again, it's a monster. It really, really is. Again, 880, 850 right there. Another thing is when you zoom out here on the 2 hour, you go all the way back to February 2024, over a year ago, right? Like a year and a half ago. Okay. You can see this has been a clear cut support around 710. So you're mounting that trading inside of a range, looking back to get into 850, 860. It looks really good. It just really does. Above 820, upside is very likely. UNH, I'm kind of surprised it's not getting a little bit more going. Still looks really interesting. You have the gap fill still in the 377. Could be watching that one as well. Worth mentioning. Another name out there is Johnson & Johnson, breaking up, just going crazy. But again, I don't like Johnson & Johnson as much. Right there at that all-time high. If you break out above all-time, your price discovery, maybe like 192, 190. You do what you got to do there. But again, what I'd be looking for, pretty crazy looking chart there in the 2 hour. The clear bull flag, 50 MA, shot up. Crazy, 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 crazy. Okay. Now, more into tech. Mag 7 names. What are we looking for there? Obviously, NVIDIA, this is Gonzo, right? Break retest already running. I'd love to see it. One of the biggest opportunities out there right now, in my opinion, is AVGO. AVGO at 332 is very interesting. Now, let's talk about a few things that I'm kind of dissecting from this chart. Number one, okay, under 330, 332, you have no support, like no liquidity. So in my opinion, you should have dropped pretty quick, meaning if there was any sellers, you could have got shot down with ease. That didn't happen. You found support, you bounced back up with NVIDIA, which makes sense that you're following NVIDIA back up. Makes logical sense, okay? But we're sitting here now. Now you can clearly see you're putting in lower highs still. We want to see a break above like 337. Above 337, this really has room back into 348, 356. That's what I'd be watching there. Monster name. I think it should be on everyone's charts right now. TSM, another big name out there. And again, this is just why it's so important. TSM was kind of where AVGO was like 2 days ago, 3 days ago, something like that, right? You broke out, you're back at all-time highs. AVGO can do the same thing. AVGO is one of the biggest holdings in the NASDAQ, which again gets overlooked so much. Microsoft, another monster name that Jordan has been hammering. Above 518, you look really good. You really do. Microsoft can start getting quickly. This can start getting back into like right about here, like 526, 525, and then ultimately in towards 531, 532. Got to be watching it. Very strong name. Lots of momentum. I was sitting in Discord this morning, and again, this is one of those trades I probably should have taken, right? And again, I think it's important. Like, it's important to realize people are going to get emotional. Like, you're going to get emotional when you're trading. You're going to be sometimes confused. Sometimes things won't make sense, and that's okay. Now, where things could have got really bad is if I would have started YOLOing against, like, okay, well, guys, we should be dipping, and I don't know why we're not. I'm going to start hammering shorts. Well, that doesn't like logically make any sense, right? Because again, even though I have like a fundamental bias or thesis, what I'm thinking about, that's why I make my watch list and my rundown every single day. So I have a good understanding of what I should be looking for. And so before I even do anything, I mark this down and I go through it. And so if I know we're getting that bullish sentiment, that action getting above these massive levels, I can't go short because futures are telling me, like, Tyler, I don't care how you feel, the numbers, we're at all-time highs. We're pushing up. And so it's important that you're able to have something to go back to be like, okay, Tyler, you can't do that. You can't, like, I know you want to, but you can't because this tells you right now you're doing something stupid. It doesn't make any sense. And it's important to be able to tell yourself and know the difference in what's happening there. And that's why I tell you, everyone, have a watch list, have a rundown, have a journal, your market plan for the day. It makes your life so much easier. Make sure you're doing that, guys. I'm telling you right now. Another name out here, Palantir, which for some reason, like, people are trying to say that this deserves to be the Mag 7. Craziest shit I've ever heard in my life. But again, Palantir is a monster here, getting back up. Dude, this is crazy to actually look at that. Getting above like 185, pushing it next. I mean, you're at that point on Palantir, like all-time highs are here again. Like 190. We're going to $200 next. Like, it doesn't feel real to say out loud, but that's where you're at. That is what's actually happening right now. Palantir is monstrous. Going crazy. So again, be watching that above like 185, 186 for confirmation, looking for all-time highs, 189.5, 190 plus, okay? Oracle, I like this one a lot. Again, we're looking mainly for the downside, but it started bouncing with the market. You got 276, bouncing back up. You get back above 292, it might be a long. I'm going to tell you right now. Got the gap fill back into 305. Be watching above 292. Upside is definitely on the watch, okay? So again, what I'd be watching there as well. I'm trying to make sure I'm going through every single. I still think Apple's very strong. Gone over that. Amazon, guys, let me tell you. Fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me. Something like that. I don't know, right? Something like that. That's white people say that or something, right? Amazon. Dear God. Dear God. I was looking for the 200 SMA touch. You came right back down to our level 216.5. Maybe my levels, like, I should trust them more than the 200 SMA. I don't know. It looks good though. It does look good. 224 looks really likely. The weakest name right now out there in the market is Netflix. Apparently Elon was telling everyone to like sell Netflix or get rid of their Netflix subscription. Crazy. But yeah, let me tell you, Elon has a little power in that voice of his, right? Below 1163, you're looking for lows here of 1145, 1150, and then you have nothing. Netflix could be in big trouble. Under 1163, looking for 1150, and then from there you have like 1145, but we'll see what happens. Under 1145, you got nothing to 1103, and the 50 SMA down there. This could get wrecked. I'd be watching it. If you start to see the market selling and getting weaker, I would say Netflix is the name to watch for downside. Above 1180, I would not be so bearish on it. Personally, that's my interpretation of what I'd be watching there. End of the day, one of the biggest surprises, the thing I'm going to leave you with is cloud, or cloud, cybersecurity, etc. CrowdStrike, PanW. End of the day, they started getting buyers. I made a video a while back. I think PanW is one of the biggest opportunities. I still think so. Again, you've sat at this resistance since November 2024. Above 208, it looks really good. That being said, someone was talking about this in Discord right before market close. I think CrowdStrike right now will make you more money. Why? CrowdStrike's more volatile. It'll move quicker, and you're like at that all-time high territory as well. I could see CrowdStrike with the way that Nvidia and these other names are all pushing all-time highs now. I could see CrowdStrike getting into like 520, 517 in a rush. As long as it's above 491, it looks really good. The only problem here is I think CrowdStrike is a little bit riskier because, again, how volatile it is up and down. That's the game you're playing here. Above 491, I think you look really good. How I'm interpreting it, how I'm watching it. Still think Pan W is good. You're probably gonna make a little bit less, or it's gonna move a little slower. I still think it's a great name. Like if you buy it, forget about it a little bit. I think you're gonna be fine. I like it a lot. But again, how my head, what I'm thinking about, how I'm like interpreting this, how I'm trying to attack it. A lot of people interested in AMD. You're below the 50 MA, above 165.5. Go long. Until then, be very, very careful. Nothing else to really say about that. Coinbase, last name I'm going to mention here too, 349, above 349, 350. You have room to 369, 370. Easy as that. Have a good one, traders. See you later. Like, subscribe, do what you got to do.